Some stories look perfect from a distance, shining with glamour and admiration. That's how people viewed George and Amal Clooney's marriage, a global superstar and a world-renowned human rights lawyer living a dream life. But when George finally opened up, the world was svvv-tunned. Behind the smiles and red carpet appearances, he carried years of emotional weight. He revealed the loneliness, pressure, and quiet distance that slowly grew between them, turning their seemingly perfect marriage into something he no longer understood. This isn't a scandal. It's a man realizing that love and respect sometimes can't overcome the differences between two very different worlds. From the moment their relationship began, people described George and Amal as a dream couple. He was one of Hollywood's most beloved actors, admired for his charm, humor, and generosity. She was an international lawyer with a sharp mind, a fierce voice, and a commitment to defending those who had no voice at all. Their worlds looked powerful, elegant, and balanced. Everywhere they went, cameras followed. Headlines called them the couple that redefined what celebrity marriages should look like. George often spoke proudly about Amal's intelligence and compassion. He admired the way she stood fearlessly for justice, how she fought for the innocent, and how she carried an entire world of responsibility on her shoulders. But as the years passed, admiration slowly turned into a shadow over his own identity. He loved her brilliance, yet he found himself fading quietly behind it. George never blamed Amal for being committed to her work. He respected her deeply. But inside their home, he often felt like a silent figure watching her navigate global crises, legal battles, and political turmoil. Amal spent long nights studying reports, preparing cases, reading testimonies, and meeting with people from governments and international courts. George tried to stand by her, offering comfort, care, and support, but he felt his presence shrink a little more every day. He tried entering her world, learning more about the cases she fought, understanding the horrors she confronted, and keeping up with her sharp intellectual pace. Over time, he began to feel exhausted by the pressure to constantly rise to her level. He felt like he had to monitor every word, every sentence, every conversation, just to keep up with her mind. The constant challenge made him feel as if he was judged even when she said nothing. He admitted that Amal never intentionally made him feel small, yet he carried that feeling quietly, and it became heavier with time. At home, silence became normal. Not peaceful silence, but the kind that grows when two people live in separate emotional worlds under the same roof. Amal focused intensely on her mission, and George often found himself sitting alone, unsure whether he should speak or remain quiet. He felt like he had to earn space beside her, as though every moment he tried to relax interrupted something much more important. He became careful with his words, careful with his presence, careful with his needs, until he stopped sharing his feelings altogether. He chose stillness, hoping it would protect the harmony in their home, but the stillness only deepened his loneliness. There were evenings when George hoped for simple closeness, a warm conversation, or a gentle moment to reconnect. Instead, he found Amal deeply absorbed in documents outlining tragedies from around the world. He respected her dedication, yet he could not ignore the emotional wall that slowly formed between them. As she read heartbreaking testimonies, he silently felt like his own life became too light, too small, too ordinary to matter. He started believing that he had no meaningful place in her world, and that belief changed the foundation of their connection. Public events did not help either. Crowds often focused on Amal. People praised her intelligence, her work, her courage. Articles highlighted her presence more than his. George smiled through it all, proud yet quietly fading. He used humor to cover the growing insecurity. He used charm to hide the sadness building inside him. But no amount of performance could change how he felt when the cameras turned off. He went home feeling invisible in a world that used to celebrate him. He struggled with the emotional shift from being adored globally to feeling unnoticed in his own marriage. George also realized that emotional support is not the same as emotional connection. He supported Amal's work with everything he had, but he missed the warmth of companionship. He missed being seen for his own soul, not his public image. He missed being understood without effort. He missed being able to speak freely without worrying if his words sounded shallow. The fear of being misunderstood became constant. He stopped expressing his vulnerabilities, because he felt they were insignificant compared to the global battles Amal fought daily. Over the years, the emotional gap widened. They stopped enjoying simple things together. They stopped finding time for small joys. They moved through their days like two powerful individuals sharing responsibility, but not sharing their hearts. George felt he was losing the man he used to be. He laughed less. He avoided conversations. He tried to blend into her routine instead of building one with her. The effort drained him. He felt like he was failing at a role he never fully understood. Amal was not cold. She was not distant by choice. She carried heavy emotional weight from helping people around the world. Her compassion was immense. But compassion came with a price, and George absorbed the cost without knowing how to speak about it. He felt guilty for wanting more attention or affection. He felt wrong asking for emotional intimacy, while she spent her days fighting for people who endured unimaginable trauma. He loved her deeply, yet he could not find space for his own heart within hers. Soon after, they both sensed the growing distance. They spoke about their differences calmly. Amal explained that her life's purpose consumed most of her energy, and she did not know how to balance her mission with emotional closeness. George admitted his loneliness and exhaustion. They did not fight. They did not blame each other. They simply acknowledged a truth too strong to deny. Their lives no longer lived side by side, even though they slept under the same roof. When separation finally happened, it was silent. Amal packed slowly, trying not to hurt him. George stood there watching, knowing that stopping her would only create more pain. He loved her enough to let her go. He understood that she belonged to a world much larger than their marriage. And she understood that he needed a life where he did not have to shrink himself just to maintain peace. They parted with respect, not bitterness, holding on to the good memories while accepting that their story had reached its natural end. After the breakup, George felt both heartbreak and relief. He learned to rediscover himself. He became present for his children. He healed slowly, accepting that love does not always end with anger. Sometimes it ends because two souls grow in different directions. He still admired Amal's bravery. He still respected her power. But he finally accepted that being with someone extraordinary should not cost a person their own identity. That realization set him free. This story reminds us that even the strongest people can feel lost inside relationships that look perfect from the outside. George learned that love needs connection, not just admiration. It needs space for both hearts to breathe. His journey shows that walking away is sometimes the only way to find yourself again. If you want more stories that reveal the real lives behind famous names, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive. Your support keeps these powerful stories alive.